I'm going to read a short artist statement, and then I'm going to open it to questions, okay? So, starting at the beginning. When I was 4, we lived for a while in the upper Rio Grande Valley near El Paso. Yes, in a land lush from irrigation, tall pecan groves, low green fields, sluice gates that allowed silver sheets of water to flood the crops. Spring warmth, cool shade, new greenery. From my 5th birthday in August, we were living in a small house in the desert shadow of the Franklin Mountains. Sand and dunes, hot glaring noons, cool starry nights. I remember my mother gathering sunflowers for my party, tall, bright yellow petals, velvety brown centers, spherical spiky heads. Later we bought a house on the east side of the mountains, also on the edge of the desert. We built forts in the dunes, dug holes, moved rocks, gathered seeds and plants, excuse me, I have allergies. We walked and collected, shaping our materials over and over in 100 varieties. After a 3-year exile in Kansas, we drove from winter into springtime San Antonio. We bought a house on the north side of the town where the deer came to drink at the pond my dad built. Vacations were in Port Aransas, our Big Bend, light and space. I hope I carry the light and space of South and West Texas into my paintings. I choose to work from life. I find the color and the composition and the psychology of life infinitely variable and challenging. And I've been doing this for a while. So are there any questions, anything you all would like to know? Actually, the paintings, what you see is what you get. When I do plein air, I go out and paint. I am a fair weather plein air painter. I don't paint when it's too hot or too cold or too windy. I paint a lot of flowers for my yard when they're blooming. When we have a summer like we had last summer, I go to H-E-B and buy flowers. I also do figurative and portrait work. Yes.
I have a question. I was lucky enough to be at the plein air painting workshop with you at the Whittier Museum, and I got to watch you paint plein air. You always start with an underpainting, and it looks absolutely nothing like your finished painting. What are you doing there? Are you establishing values? Talk about your process from like the beginning.
That's basically to capture the light. Where if you underpaint with a more brilliant color of the light, and then you tone it down and get it to blend in with the rest, we're more likely to capture the light. And I took a very short course under Camille Pruswadik, who is a California painter, and she has basically that technique. I don't use that technique all the time. It all depends on what I'm doing and how fast I have to do it, because as anybody that knows that painting outdoors, the light doesn't stay the same. So it's kind of gonzo painting. You get it there while you can.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
Do you have a favorite flower or thing or subject to paint?
My favorite flowers are flowers that will hopefully stay still and not move around too much and not die too fast.
I like those too.
And nobody has to ask questions. They can go get more champagne.
I like the two that have the dark background. Do you start with a black oil and then go over it with an alizarin or something?
I don't usually use black. About the only times I would use black are if I'm painting a person and they have black clothing on. And then I have a tendency to just really simplify the clothing and into a shape. That I have a burgundy cloth, actually it's a velvet cloth, and I started out with alizarin. Yes, Dawn?
Yeah, I know your daughter's into horses. Did you ever consider doing paintings of, animals, horses?
I only paint things that will stay relatively still for me, so I do not do children or animals. And I don't know horses. The people that paint horses, like my friend Gladys DeMorris, who does a wonderful job with horses, you have to really know the animal. And I do good with people, but that's if they're not too antsy.
You're doing portraits or what?
I do portraits, yes. I have a website, and you can see some of the portraits on there.
I would like to say something.
Thank you, Gladys.
I am very lucky to have Vikki as my friend. I am a full-time artist too, and to me it's mind-boggling because I paint a lot of plein air. I paint from life, and we paint together a lot. Just to see her, how she summarizes in very simple strokes what it's taking me forever to do, is to me just amazing. So I love her work. We are collectors of her work. My family's collectors of her work because I've learned to see, because I'm an artist, how difficult it is what she does. And because I've sat with her there, like in those mountains over there, and I look at how she immediately can summarize everything, and I'm just trying to script and create. So just wanted to put a little bit of that.
Gladys is a dear friend and a wonderful artist. You can see her work at the Briscoe here in town. Well, I want to give a big thanks to Prudence Lucas, who also collected one of my paintings and came to my house and offered me this exhibition. And we are so happy to have her here in town as both artists and
I'm very honored to have all of you all, and have you, Vikki, here. I'm just, I think this is a beautiful, beautiful exhibit, and I am a collector of her paintings, and so is my sister as well. And so please enjoy, look around. There is champagne and there's light appetizers, and the show will go through May the 20th. It will be up through May the 20th, and then we have another show that will be coming up June the 3rd with Margie Hildreth, who's here, and Sheila Swanson as well. But this show is just beautiful. I walk in here and I just, the color and the light, and I just wanted to make one, Craig Kadowski, who I think a lot of you know was here earlier, and he so enjoyed the show, and he was talking about a little bit what you were saying, Gladys. You were at a workshop with him and you were doing the missions, and he said you were painting with, you were doing pastel. I believe he said pastel. No, maybe it was like
the pastel.
he said that you could only stay for a little bit, that you had somewhere else you needed to be, and so you did it very quickly, and it was like he said it was amazing, and you it was a beautiful piece, and you kind of reiterates, I think, what Gladys was saying as well. So y'all enjoy the
Thank you.
appetizers and everything. So thank you for coming.